Oh no, the cops are back again. Wait, that does not sound like a cop at all. But time to go. Wave 2 is here. We got 2 new products. You guys love the first series Cyberzone so much, we decided to make some new color variations just for you. We also have a brand new design for the winter season, where we have our second series, Winter 0. And this time, it comes with different colorways right off the bat. The new drops are now live on the AVAULT store right away for pre-order, so be sure to check it out. Both new drops have single and 2-player versions as well. Alright, starting with Digi-Egg cards, we got 4 copies of the brand new Ouryumon right here. It has the inheritable of opponent's turn. Once returned, when Digimon becomes unspended, you get to draw 1 card. It also happens during the unspend phase, so it's kind of neat when it comes to that, so you can get a little bit of draw power during the opponent's turn, which gives you it. And you really want to mainly run this egg simply because we are running the 4 copies of Ouryumon, which is the brand new DigiPolice and Beast and X antibody for the deck to add on with the whole Ouryumon line in here. Now, mainly is because it digivolves for 1 on top of any green or black egg for 1 cost, but you really want to be digivolving it for 0 for Ouryumon, so at least you have the option to choose which source of digivolution memory you want to pay with it. Now, it has a starter main phase effect. You get to play 1 Shu Yulin from your hand as its bottom Digivolution cards, and then this Digimon isn't affected by the effects of your opponent's Digimon until the end of the turn, giving that really cool coverage with protection, which is really nice for just the rookie alone. And by being able to place the Tamer Shu underneath it, you can actually then, unbind Link out during the end of the turn by placing it back out, so then you have like a free memory tamer essentially, which is really great. It has the inheritable of all turns once returned. When this Digimon becomes suspended, you get to suspend one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers with play cost less than or equal to this particular Digimon too. So yeah, this brand new rookie is really, really vital to the entire deck. And since we're running X antibody stuff now, I actually like to play 4 copies of Ouryumon, which is really great with his on-play effect because you can grab yourself another searcher to search for your X antibody cards, or you can even digivolve it in your raising and you can still get a really good value out of it just because you do mind link quite a bit. And by mind linking, you get to synergize with its inheritable, so you can gain memory off of it too, which is really, really nice. So that's the whole reason why I'm running Ouryumon alongside. And now we definitely want to include the good old commandramon from BT15, just with its on play, searching the top 5, grabbing yourself a piece, and then rearranging anything back to the top or the bottom is still very crucial in this deck. You still kind of play that kind of engine, but we are playing fewer commandramons in this current build at the moment. But I have other suggestions for you guys as we move along, so to switch up the build later on too in the tech choices, which we'll cover. Of course, with its inheritable, it gives you that sort of protection when it would leave from the battle area. Other than from your own effect, you can delete one of your other D-Brigades to prevent it from leaving play, which is really, really, really good. One of the best protections out there as well. Lots of protection going on in this deck, which is why it's really, really good in terms of defensiveness. Then now let's move into our level 4s. We got 4 copies of Ouryumon right here. Ouryumon can digivolve for 3, but you really want to be digivolving it for 2, specifically on top of X antibody / DigiPolice trait. Itself is a blocker, and it has an on play and when digivolving effect. Suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, and if a Tamer card with the DigiPolice trait is underneath this Digivolution sources, that Digimon can't unsuspend until the end of their turn. Then it has the inheritable, which is exactly the same as Ouryumon. Of all turns once returned, when this Digimon becomes suspended, you get to suspend one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers with play cost less than or equal to the particular Digimon that has its inheritable. So really, really important card because it helps you suspend things, and you want to be suspending your opponent's Digimon down so they can go for further combos later on, which we'll show you guys too. Other side from that, we still play 4 copies of High Commandramon itself. Still counts as a Commandramon with its rule name. When attacking, revealing the top 3, cycling through and letting you play more Commandramons, and then having the exact same inheritable with its protection is still incredibly useful for this particular deck. And then last but not least, for all the level 4s, 2 copies of Ouryumon, just so then we can actually play Satsuki's for free essentially by mind linking directly from our hand, so then we can get access to these Tamers. Really, really good one. Not as core as before, so that's why I still include 2 copies. Gaining rush as well potentially can help you finish games to make more aggressive attacks, and otherwise inheritable giving you blocker for more defense is always really good. Let's talk about our level 5s now with the brand new Ouryumon here. Now, you mainly again want to be digivolving it for 3 costs on top of a X antibody or DigiPolice trait card that is level 4, so then you don't have to digivolve it for the full 4 costs. Itself is also a blocker once again, just like Ouryumon. It has a all turns effect. When an effect suspends another Digimon or Tamer, if a Tamer card with the DigiPolice trait is in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, you get to digivolve this Digimon into a Beast Dragon or DigiPolice trait from your hand without paying any memory costs. Being able to do that is just absolutely insane. This counts for when your opponent suspends their own Tamers or Digimon for using effects. It doesn't just have to be your own as well. And being able to do that, you can then surprise and digivolve on top of your opponents, kind of like an ace moment where you get to disrupt the opponents and their plays when you go into potentially your top end, which we'll showcase you guys later on. Once again, being able to digivolve for entirely free is just absolutely insane and helps you turbo, which is really good at what green does best too. And then it's inheritable is all turn once per turn. When an effect suspends another Digimon or Tamer, you get to unsuspend one of your Digimon with Beast Dragon or DigiPolice trait, and with that you can make multiple attacks, multiple blocks, and sort of synergize with your other effects as well later on. And then of course, then we still like to play 4 copies of Brigadramon, just really good with his on-play and when digivolving effect, being able to cycle to top 3. Playing D-Brigade cards with 4 costs or less is just great value overall. And all turns once per turn with its inheritable. When one of your other Digimon's deleted, you get to reveal the top 3 cards of your deck to play commandramons for free, trashing the rest, keeping a really good cycle and floating capability, which is still what D-Brigade does best with DigiPolice as well. That's it for all of our level 5s. Let's talk about our level 6s. First, gonna definitely talk about this brand new Ouryumon, which is the main boss Digimon of the deck that we're mainly focused on right now in this particular build. Costs 4 to digivolve on top of black or green level 5. It does also cost exactly the same with 4, even if you digivolve on top of an X antibody or DigiPolice trait that's level 5 as well. Itself again is a blocker. It has when digivolving, if a Tamer card with the DigiPolice traits is with its sources, you get to bottom deck one of your opponent's suspended Digimon or Tamers. And being able to do that is really great removal. You guys always know how I think bottom decking is just really good as a general removal tool. And it has a all turns once per turn effect. When this Digimon becomes suspended, you get to play a Digimon with Beast Dragon or DigiPolice trait from your hand with 5,000 DP or less for free. And the fact that it is all turns can help you sort of play more bodies, and you can synergize with more on-play effects overall. And overall really fits in the strategy with D-Brigade and DigiPolice, where you're trying to spawn as many bodies on the board as much as possible, and it's just a incredibly really cool card to have. And then of course, as our secondary boss Digimon now, we're playing 3 copies of Brigadramon. Still again, a really good card. It can pop things when digivolving, letting you still continue to play more things as well at the end of the turn by cycling through the top cards of your deck, playing multiple D-Brigade related stuff and DigiPolice stuff as well. And it can also give everything blocker within the whole archetype, which is a very good defensive core strategy. If you don't want to go for the big stack Ouryumon combo, going to Brigadramon is still equally just as good because and very reliable as well. And then last but not least, just 1 copy of Quartzmon. You guys can bump this up to 2 depending on your personal preference. Deck space is a little bit tight, which is why I definitely at least play 1 of for now. Really good card to sort of like clutch against your opponents, suspending everything, not allowing things to unsuspend, can basically, you know, shut down specific matchups when you're facing against specific decks too that need to unsuspend to thrive. So yeah, again, really good level 7 boss Digimon to top off everything. That's it for all of the Digimon. Let's talk about Tamers. Starting with a brand new Tamer, which we talked about earlier with Shu Yulin right here. It is a memory Tamer with the security effect letting you play it for free. It has a main effect of Mind Link. You get to Mind Link it with a X antibody or DigiPolice trait Digimon. And once it's Mind Linked, underneath it gets its inheritables. All turns, while this Digimon has X antibody or DigiPolice traits, it gains Alliance and Reboot. And just like all the other Mind Link Tamers, at the end of either player's turn, you get to place it back out, so then you can gain really lots of value out of it and then re-Mind Link during your next turn into another Digimon or cycle the same combo all over again. Very important, you definitely want to play 4 copies of, because the whole strategy is about Ouryumon, Ouryumon, and Brigadramon and all that kind of stuff. So you want to be able to see this particular card as much as possible. And being able to Alliance is really key, because Alliance suspends one of your other Digimon, so you can synergize with all your other suspending effects to trigger all those other windows as well. So really important that you want to see as much as possible. Therefore, we'll also then play 2 copies of Satsuki. You guys can actually juggle between the ratios based on your personal preference between these 2 Tamers. You can max it all out in 4-4, 3-3 split, or even 4-2 with the other ones. But yeah, whatever you guys prefer. Of course, Satsuki is still just really good with her Mind Link, also giving you memory. Mind Linking gives you jamming and reboot as well, which is kind of neat when it comes to, you know, swinging with your commandramons and any of your Digimon, so then you don't get deleted in security battle. So yeah, still really good, and that's also the reason why we played Ouryumon together. And then for searching options, I just do for the 2-2 split with defense training and black memory boost at the moment. You guys can kind of again juggle between the ratios, depending on what you personally prefer. For now, this is working very well for me, so I get like sort of like a wide coverage for searching pieces. And then for removal option, DCD bomb is still just really great. Coming out from security, you can disrupt your opponent. Playing it from your hand is also really good, very cost effective as well. The Digivolving one is great. And then you get to cycle pieces that are D-Brigade and DigiPolice back from your trash to the top of your deck to pop something that is 6 cost or less of Digimon. Again, just really, really good removal overall. Now let's talk about some of the tech choices. If you guys want to focus more on the commandramon D-Brigade line instead of like the X-Antibody rookie side of things, definitely include, you know, these kind of commandramons here. You can definitely play 4-4, 2-2 split, and work it in however way you kind of like. You know, if you want to go for a BT4, you can float more bodies. Decoy is still also really good, you know, to protect against each other and, you know, stop any deletion. Otherwise, Death-X is also really good secondary level 7 to include as well, to you know, pop wide boards, deal with wide boards, reduce play costs with it. And for other type of options, HBD is really neat because you do want to synergize with some suspending combos. Since you always have multiple bodies, it's very easy to climb up your Digivolution stack for free, which is a really nice clutch card, which I would definitely find room to include it as well and highly recommend it as another tech. And then of course, other removal tools, the standard black removal cards, Ultimate Flare, DG Dimension, based on what your personal preference is or based on what the meta is like. Ultimate Flare for big stacks, DG Dimensions for wide boards removal when it comes to Digivolving and popping overall. All right, combos. When it comes to your opening hand, what you really want to ideally see are certainly your rookies, you know, Dorumon, Commandramon to search. Ouryumon is the one that you want to sort of build your stack with and Digivolve. You really do want to see your Shu Yulin as soon as possible and being able to play it as soon as possible so you can go for the aggressive combos and actually get the most benefit out of your entire combo line, and as well as your Black Memory Boost and defense training as quickly as possible to search your pieces as well. So of course, you hatch your egg and then you would Digivolve into Ouryumon here. If you're going first or second, ideally once you Digivolve into it, then you would play these searching cards, otherwise play Dorumon or Commandramon. If you don't have Ouryumon, then you would then secondary link Digivolve into Dorumon at the back as well, which works just as great. But as soon as it comes back to your turn, you do want to utilize Ouryumon, start a main effect so that you can place a Shu right underneath it immediately and it will have that kind of protection. Now what you want to then see next, of course, is your entire line as you Digivolve, right? You want to see your Ginryu, your Hisaryu, and your Oryu as well. That's the ideal stack that you can sort of try and build into and use your boosts to your advantage to get into those. You know, Digivolving into Ginryomon here, you get to suspend your opponent's Digimon and it can also cannot unsuspend because you have Shu underneath. And then also going into Hisaryumon and, you know, retain your turn. Sometimes you can sort of pass your opponent and play around the memory gauge so you have a blocker on the board. And always pay attention to whenever an effect suspends another Digimon or Tamer, so then you can eventually Digivolve into Ouryumon for free. If your opponent is not doing it because they're being wary about it, then you can actively do this yourself. D-Brigade and DigiPolice is just really good at going wide generally. You are having an extra body on the side. So what you can actually do is you can swing with Hisaryumon right here, and you can even do Alliance first in some situations so that you suspend your Commandramon. Now because you suspended it, you gain extra 1k on your Hisaryu and will be doing 2 checks. Now Hisaryumon effects all turns when an effect suspends another Digimon or Tamer, which is your own, you can then Digivolve into Ouryumon for free immediately. And by doing so, you can also use all these effects and sequence it where how Ginryomon would suspend something, Ouryumon would suspend something that is play cost less than equal to. Now originally if you sequenced it before Digivolving, it would be choosing the play cost based on Hisaryumon. But now you Digivolve into Ouryumon, you get to choose a play cost based on Ouryumon's, which is 12 cost, and then synergize with Ouryumon's when Digivolving effect afterwards to bottom deck something that's suspended, which is really, really amazing and really cool here. And now you're swinging to security for 13k 2 checks or whatever what you sort of alliance with here. Otherwise, in some situations, if your Ouryumon is unsuspended to begin with, you can swing with it, Then you get to use it to play a body out, which ideally you could actually also play Ouryumon out. With Ouryumon on play, you can suspend one of your opponent's body, and then by doing so, you get to use his Ouryumon to unsuspend it, or unsuspend any other beast or beast dragon or DigiPolice trait Digimon as well. Once again, using Ouryumon and Ouryumon to suspend something your opponent has at the same time. And then now you can also finish off an alliance 16k 2 checks as well. Even though sometimes you might just alliance straight up with 16k, and then you get to also unsuspend with Ouryumon if you have a body to begin with as well, like you guys saw earlier. So that's the whole new combo, and you can basically do 4 checks in 1 turn with this kind of combo, essentially. Also taking out your opponent's Digimon, you know, and suspending them and having a lot of control aspects, which is very, very unique and really cool. Of course, the other way that you want to sort of build your stack sometimes, which gives the whole D-Brigade strategy with a lot of versatility now and a whole different style of control that you can mix in between. Of course, you can still go into the classic one, high commandramon into Cargodramon into Brigadramon, and then Brigadramon. Having both these guys on the board is just absolutely bonkers, and it's really good at control, really, really good capability when it comes to stopping opponents from attacking you, and you still have a lot of aggression. Thanks to Alliance now, you can do multiple checks, or you can go super wide with Brigadramon and Cargodramon's effect to make multiple swings and sort of play around these 2 different strategies, which is really cool. And of course, having multiple shoes is always great, because then you can always mind link again with other things and do alliance combos, give it reboot as well after you make your attacks, so you're really set up for defensive side of things. Of course, you don't always ultimately get to build your stack 2 ways like this, which is one of the really cool things with this new DigiPolice archetype itself, is because you can easily intertwine between these guys. Now that you've Digimon High Commandramon, and then maybe even Cargodramon, and then you top it off with Ouryumon somehow, like this, which is a suboptimal stack, but that's also still very viable, because then if you have other Commandramons or sort of D-Brigade stuff, you can use them to protect your Ouryumon as well, which is just equally as good. And then you can still continue with your alliance combos and attack and play things if you need to. And with Ouryumon, you still get to suspend things as well. Same goes for the other way around. If you digivolve into Ouryumon, you suspend your opponent's stuff. You go into Ouryumon here. Ouryumon doesn't necessarily have to digivolve into Ouryumon. It can also digivolve into Brigadramon, because it is DigiPolice, and it can potentially digivolve it for free. And once you digivolve it for free, you can even surprise your opponents, because now all of a sudden, all of your DigiPolice and D-Brigades are blockers. So if they were attacking to begin with, and they suspended Tamers or suspended some of their own guys, they can suddenly kind of like counter them and even just block afterwards too. And then by doing so, again, really similar concept. You do again want to see your shoes as much as possible to do alliance combos. And sometimes when you don't see your shoes, seeing Satsuki is also just as good, which gives you that old reliable BT15 strategy of the other way to play D-Brigade. And of course, yeah, as you keep going wide with more D-Brigade, Commandramons as well, you can play these guys out because they're all DigiPolice as well, which really helps. Cargodramon does the same thing, which gives you a lot of synergy, and then you go wide and you have a really, really cool offensive strategy and defensive strategy for this particular deck to win. I know some of you guys may not believe how strong the DigiPolice deck now currently is with all these new combos. Well, definitely check out this gameplay guide for yourself to see how we play against all the other decks of BT15 as well. As always, you guys have a great day, great night, wherever you are. See you in the next video, and this is AVAULT signing